MC Lyte is one of hip-hop's greatest unsung storytellers. Let me give you a full disclosure right up front. I was a big fan of MC Lyte back in the day. Sure, she was my favorite female MC, but Lyte was much more than that. During the golden age era of hip-hop, MC Lyte was in my top 10 list, period. So now that I've gotten my personal opinion out of the way, let's take a look back at Lyte's artistry, particularly her gift for compelling storytelling. There's a long history of storytelling in hip-hop, yet far too often when we think of great storytellers, we call out the names of male MCs and forget about the ladies. MC Lyte's music is filled with several great storytelling records. Poor Georgie was the most popular in terms of commercial success, and I would say that Cappuccino is my personal favorite. But MC Lyte's first record, Cram To Understand U, Sam, released in 1987, is arguably the most important storytelling record that she's ever made. Cram To Understand You, Sam introduced the world to MC Lyte, along with her cousin, DJ K-Rock. The record's impact on hip-hop was game-changing for female MCs at the time, yet I don't feel the song has ever really gotten the proper recognition it deserves. With that said, the strength of Lyte's lyrical tale about love and drug addiction was felt in the streets and acknowledged by music writers back in the day. A writer named Amy Longsdorf wrote an article for the Morning Call newspaper back in November 1988 about the fresh new female face on the burgeoning rap music scene and her song, which was popular in the streets of New York City at the time. Allow me to read some of the article. Brooklyn's MC Lyte raps it like it is on the street. My mother always backed me no matter what I wanted to do, said Brooklyn rapper MC Lyte. First, I wanted to go into dancing, so she put me into dance lessons. Then I changed my mind. I wanted piano lessons, and she gave me piano lessons. When I decided to do rap, she stood behind me and said, "Rap." Mom's encouragement paid off. The 18-year-old Lyte, who will appear tonight with Busy B and Big Daddy Kane at Easton's State Theater, is currently one of New York City's hottest rappers. Proclaimed hip-hop's best female vocalist by the Village Voice, Lyte owes much of her reputation to her first 12-inch record, the smash Cram To Understand You, Sam. After the single hit big on New York's black radio stations, Lyte was offered a contract with Atlantic Records. Her first LP, Light as a Rock, is currently selling at a brisk pace, though it has yet to crack Billboard's Hot 100 pop chart. The petite, red-haired rapper has earned critical accolades and healthy record sales by consistently resisting the gimmick-laden approach of women rappers like JJ Fad and L Trim. Dressing in sweatsuits, jeans, and sneakers, Lyte packs a powerhouse punch in her ferocious rhymes. Lyte feels that as a teenager, she can effectively monitor the pulse of the streets. A priority for the 18-year-old is keeping her eyes and especially her ears open to what's going on. I don't think I'll lose touch because I've seen other people do that, she observed during a recent telephone interview. I think I've learned from those mistakes. You can only lose touch when you make too much money and move out of the community you come from. You're no longer on the street to hear what people like. I'm going to make it in my business to know what people like and want to hear. Lyte started rapping in 1982, performing at house parties and small clubs, but it wasn't until she hooked up with her cousin, DJ The B, K-Rock, that she began taking hip-hop seriously. Teamed with K-Rock and producers Audio 2, Lyte recorded the self-penned, independently released Cram To Understand, which Peter Watrous of the New York Times dubbed one of the best 12-inch singles of the year. The landmark rap revolves around Sam, a lowlife Lyte finds herself attracted to. He wants to rush the romance, but she warns, "Slow down. I know you want to shake me down, but I'm not one of the girls to go ripping around." The next day, she stops by his house and discovers another woman. "Who's the frog? The bump on the log? You chump, you punk, how could you do me wrong?" She gets involved with Sam despite warnings from friends and signs that he's up to no good. By the song's end, she finds out that the other woman in Sam's life is crack. Wrote Rotris, "Unlike the dozens of raps that are simply comment put-downs, Miss Lyte's plaintive tone and her self-deprecating story add up to a complex emotional statement." To get even more of a sense of how big the independently released record I Cram To Understand You, Sam was back in 87-88, here's an excerpt from an article published by Newsday prior to the Morning Call write-up. 3 months ago, Lyte, that's not her real name of course, graduated from George W. Wingate High in Brooklyn. She had already been rapping professionally for 5 years, performing at house parties and small clubs, verbally jostling in her trademark gruff voice with other female rap artists. But Lyte's career was going nowhere until she was discovered 2 years ago by Nathaniel Daddy D. Robinson, Giz, and Milt's father and president of First Priority Music. Last June, she pressed a 12-inch single, I Cram To Understand You, Sam, an ode of love, lust, and crack cocaine. It became one of the most popular songs of the year on New York's black radio stations. And if projections are accurate, Robin says the trio would make about $250,000 each this year. Wow. Now that's impressive, and I really hope Lyte was also fairly paid her worth, considering that I Cram To Understand You, Sam was instrumental in First Priority Music securing a distribution deal with Atlantic. Now go back and listen to Lyte's classic record. Where do you rank her on the list of the greatest storytellers in hip-hop? Thanks for joining. This is Soulful Charts. We got the receipts. Peace.